Hello everybody, so I'm back and I want to share with you guys what I dreamed this morning because it's like wow. And all the revelations that kind of came there after that, which I'm also going to be making a bigger PowerPoint on because it's definitely something to look into, you guys. And I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed. But I also want to share what my mother received yesterday, but which I will also be putting in together though for that Stellarium video from the times that we're in now, the star, with the moon signs and all with that, because I do believe we were wrong with our timelines this whole time. And she just kept saying in her dream, there was like a 12-year-old boy, and she kept telling him, she kept repeating herself nonstop, Yom Kippur, Yom Kippur, Yom Kippur. But like I said, I want to just share that out with you guys, what she had yesterday, and how that fits in with this timeline that I will show you guys in another video, what I'm talking about with Stellarium. However, this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the dream I had this morning and why it's so significant and what I have found out there after that dream. Definitely for our times, you guys. So I'm just going to hop in now. In this dream, it was dark outside and I was outside, but there was like a doorway, like there was a building, right? But I was outside as in like if I were to be like in the backyard now, right? And I'm in this backyard and I knew, and it was dark outside, and I knew, and I had a book in my hand. I knew that I had to wait now for Michael to come. So Michael the Archangel. I knew I had to wait for him to come because I knew I had to, he was coming to pick me up because I had to do an assignment with Michael. Like I knew that. So I was waiting for Michael to come pick me up because I knew I had to do an assignment with him, right? So I'm in the backyard and I knew this, you guys. I knew this so deeply in the dream. And so I'm waiting and I had this book open. I'm like looking in the book and all of a sudden, you guys, he came. I didn't see no wings. He looked like me and you. He was just very bright and he had on like this robe. He had like on this like white creamish robe. But it was like of light and it he had like red and it, like it wasn't completely white. Like there was something still there, like a reddish part. But to the main point, I saw him coming, and I knew it was him, and he passed by me, and he walked into the building, but while he was doing that, I said, Michael's here! And then when he went into the building, I followed him, and now we were both in this building, and the building had a light on inside, so it was bright in there. And I saw him holding this, it was like a circle, and in this circle there was the tree of life. He was holding the tree of life in his hand. And he said, Roche, I am here. And I said, okay, Michael, because I said that. I said, okay, Michael. And because I knew I was waiting on him to pick me up so that we can do this assignment together. I knew that. So I was just waiting for Michael to come pick me up so that we can do this assignment now, right? So then he went in the house. He's like, Roche, I am here, holding the tree of life in his hand. And I said, okay, Michael. But before I went, I went to an aisle then, and in this aisle, I had to pick out, it was like a complete makeup set, but only for the eye, okay? So I know this is a girl thing, you guys, but it's very significant because we're not looking at makeup now, we're looking at the fact of what it means. It was a full set to put on the eye, okay? And guess what color, you guys? It's just amazing. I know I had to take that with for the assignment. Before I could go with Michael, like I had to get that for the assignment. And this package of the makeup for the eye, okay? The lid, and it was sparkling silver, that same blue of the butterfly, and a black. So the black and blue butterfly in the silver glitter as in the wedding. Like a wedding dress, like a silver glitter. And then if you turn the package around, it tells you in what part this part would be for the eye. And the silver sparkle was for the eyelid. It was for the eyelid as in you're seeing the wedding, right? And it's like we're putting the black and blue butterfly in our eye, on our eye, because we're seeing this clearly. We are seeing this wedding. We are seeing this black and blue butterfly, as in like we are looking at, our eyes are upon the transformation and to go be happily wedded to our Lord, the bride of Christ, right? Our Lord is going to pick up his bride of Christ, which is the church. It's his church. And that's why the eyelid was for the sparkle, the silver sparkle, and the eyeliner part was that blue color like the butterfly, and the eyelashes was for was the black part. So we are this black, blue, bruised butterfly that is seeing the wedding of the Lord. That's why that was so significant, and I knew I had to take that with to fulfill the assignment that I was about to do with Michael. So, and then it was over, you guys. You guys, and this has let me so much more, because after that there's just so much been revealed that I want to share with you guys. Like, wow. So at this point now, right, I'm already looking with the resemblance with Michael, the Archangel, and like this tree of life, right? Because I know what I saw. You guys, this will blow your mind away. This will blow your mind away. You guys, we are so near. Be encouraged. We know that we're in the times. This is just like, wow. I want to share this with you guys, because this is like, wow. So that was that dream. Now I want to show you guys something, because I have to say this first before I can explain the other things, because then it makes sense, okay? So now, if we look in the book of Enoch, yeah? And I'm using the Bible, I'm also using the book of Enoch now, because what's in here is confirming this in the book of Enoch, and what's in the Enoch is confirming the Bible. So, and I want to show you guys now as to why. This is so magnificent. This is just absolutely wow. I have to show you guys. All right, we have a section, right? The tree of life in here. There's just so much in here. So I'm reading this now because I know Michael had a tree of life in his hand. So I wanted to know, what does Michael have, what is he in charge of, right? Because I knew that the archangels they're put over to be in charge of something. So that mind was just so on my spirit that I had no rest, and I'm like searching now, you guys. I'm searching because I just had to know who is in charge of this tree of the Lord. You guys, it's Michael. I just can't. But okay, so all right, so we have 7 mountains, but like I said, I'm gonna first jump into the tree and then we're gonna look at the mountains. But looking at Book of Enoch now, in the midst of is the Lord's throne, okay? And there's fragrant trees. There are fragrant trees encircling the throne, okay? So you got the throne, and around the throne are fragrances of trees, fragrant trees. And amongst them was a tree such as I had never yet smelled, neither was any amongst them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all, beyond all fragrance. And its leaves and blooms and wood wither not forever, and its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then, guys, pay attention. Then answered Michael, one of the holy and honored angels, who was with me and was their leader. He was the leader of these fragrant trees. You guys, when I read that, what a confirmation! What a confirmation. I didn't know this before, you guys. I only know this because of God. He revealed it. Only through his works. There is no other way I would have known this. I wouldn't even have been able to even look into that because, I mean, wow. And he said unto me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance? So now this is Michael talking to Enoch. Why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree, and why dost thou wish to learn the truth? Oh, you guys, I'm fried up, I'm on fire. Why dost thou wish to learn the truth? And then I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, this high mountain, which thou hast seen, which I'll talk about, you guys, because there's 7 mountains, the 7 candlesticks. It's just amazing, you guys. All right. Where was I at? And he answered, saying, the high mountain which thou hast seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the holy great one, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit when he shall come down to visit the earth for goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, there no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, and he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consumption forever. And it shall then be given to the righteous and holy. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. Wow, guys. Guys, keep your eyes on the sky. Wow. What a promise. Wow. I just like, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just like on fire right now. That was that part. All this led me to that. With this tree, that Michael the Archangel, the Lord has put Michael the Archangel to be in charge of these fragrant trees. And he came to me with a tree in his hand. You guys, this is amazing. Now, I believe with all my heart and soul that Michael the Archangel is the angel of the church of Philadelphia because of the dreams that I've had, especially the one I had where he opened up the door of the garage door and he had to squeeze us, he had to help us squeeze out, right? So that we made it through the door without a scratch. And I'm telling you guys, now we're gonna look at this because I'm really trying to like show you guys why in the Bible this is all confirming. They're confirming one another. We're gonna look at this now. But I am saying Michael the Archangel is for the church of Philadelphia because first off, he's the fourth angel that is mentioned in Enoch. He is the 4th angel that is mentioned. 4 meaning door, right? Wow. Okay, we have the Philadelphia church. Their door is open. We have that open door. And it's in the midst, the Lord is in the midst of the candlesticks, and that is his throne. It is in the midst of the candlesticks, and his throne is an open door to the Philadelphia church. And that's why I truly believe Michael the Archangel is the angel for the church of Philadelphia. And the Lord brought me all to this, and it's just so amazing. And I'm gonna explain now. I'm gonna make a PowerPoint, you guys, because this is just so significant that I just have to show you guys what I'm seeing. But we're gonna look now also in the Tree of Life chapter, right? The 7 mountains in the northwest and the Tree of the Life, right? And from thence I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire, which burned day and night. You guys, when you put on a candle, and I mean, if you put on a candle, it's burning, right? So you have a mountain. You have the mountain, which would be part of the candle, and then you have this light that's burning it, but like they're burning it, so like the spirits of God, right? The 7 churches. We know this because it says in the Bible, the mystery of the 7 stars, which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches. So the church, there is 7 mountaintops, there's 7 mountains. Here in the book of Enoch, because he said, and he showed me a mountain range of fire which burned day and night. So this mountain, the churches, and they're burning, right? They're burning like a candlestick, you guys. And I went beyond it and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing each from the other. And the stones thereof were magnificent and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of a glorious appearance and a fair exterior. So now we know there's 7 mountains that he's talking about. There's 7 candlesticks, 7 churches, 7 mountains, 7 churches. Having like a candlestick, because a mountain range of fire which burnt day and night, like a candle, you guys. Exactly. Okay, now this is also very important. 3 towards the east. All right, never eat soggy waffles, right? I always got to do that. Never eat. All right, the east going this way, right? You have 3 going to the east, 1 found on the other. So 1, 2, 3. Like I said, I'm going to have to show you guys a PowerPoint that you guys kind of see what I'm seeing. But we can kind of look at it as in like in this part, right? Okay, east. 3 of them going to the east direction. Then we have 1 found on the other. Okay, and 3 towards the south. 1 upon the other. And deep through ravines, no one of which joined with any other. All right, so we have 7 mountains. 3 of them are going to the south, to the bottom. We have in the midst of them the throne of God. 1 of them, 1 of the candlesticks, 1 of the churches, which is the doorway to his throne, the Philadelphia church, you guys, because that's the only church that he is taking out of any trials. All right, and his door is open to that church. It's the only church that is not gonna have to go through any tribulation. All right, then you have 3 going to the east, right? Now here comes the part. All right, guys, be ready. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. All right. 3 to the east, as I just showed you. If we have one like to the mist, as if I'm looking at it how I'm looking at it, right? Basically like that, right? All right. So if we have one going to the south, right? and we have it in the midst of them is the Lord, is the throne. Now we have this. And his feet like onto fine brass. So Revelation, you guys. I'm talking now Revelation 1:15. And his feet like onto fine brass. As if they burnt in a furnace. Alright, you guys. If you guys look online and you type in what does brass look like when it's being burnt in a furnace, it looks like fire. It looks like lava. And I love if you have 3 churches that are going to the south of the midst, that would be like lava being poured down onto those 3 churches. As in like the wrath of God is really being poured down onto those 3 churches. Then you have, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword. This sword is for the churches that are going to the east, that are placed to the east side. Because if he's in the midst, right? He's in the midst. You have you have the Lord, the throne. You have 1, 2, 3. 3 churches to the east that are going to be struck with the sword out of his mouth, right? It has to be placed here next to his mouth, because under the churches that are, because he has the feet of brass, that which means they would be below his feet. And you have 3 churches that are going to the south direction, that are placed south of the Lord. So if they're placed south of the Lord, that would make him below his feet. And they're brass. They're not just brass, but it would be like brass that would be like in a furnace, which means like lava, fire, wrath, below his feet. Isn't that amazing, you guys? So we have 3 churches that are going to have to go through the sword. And we have 3 churches that are going to have to go through worse times. As in the bowl of fire, the bowl of wrath of God being poured onto them. I truly believe with all my heart there will be people saved for each type of church. For each type of church. And we have 7 archangels for 7 churches, you guys. And I'm going to state now, so that this makes sense. Yes, there's a name and functions of the 7 archangels. And I'm going to state them now into you guys. This is also in the book of Enoch. And why as to I believe these 3 angels are for the south churches. 3 types of south churches under the feet of brass. Why those 3 churches are with those 3 angels, and as to why the sword one going to the east are for those 3 angels that are watching them, right? So you have, and these are the names of the holy angels who watch, okay? Of the 7 archangels, the 7 stars, that are with these candlesticks. So this is one. Number 1, Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over the world and over Tartarus. If you're looking at Tartarus, it actually is like an abyss, as in a dungeon of torment for the wicked and a prison for the titans. So it's about the abyss, okay? If you guys, because I also had to look that up. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. Exactly. I just want to make sure. Raquel, one of the holy angels who takes the vengeance on the world of the luminaries. The 4th one, Michael. Doorway, you guys. One of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. The 5th one, Serakel, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. Then you have Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over the paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. And then you have the last one, Ramiel, one of the holy angels whom God set over those who rise. Alright, you guys. So now that we know the names and their parts, right? Now, we can see that, and I believe the church of Laodicea, it will be one of the sword churches going to the east, and I believe it's actually the first one right next to the Lord, because, and as to why, is because, first off, the Lord says, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold or hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So he's spewing you out of his mouth, but what's coming out of his mouth? Out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword. So this is why I believe the church of Laodicea will be one of the churches of the east side that is going to be struck with the sword. Okay? Now you guys have to die for the Lord's name's sake. With the sword. You're gonna have to die for his name, right? So when we look at that now, I also believe it's the first one next to the Lord's throne, next to that candlestick, because it's actually really funny because you got Philadelphia, and right after that he's talking about Laodicea, right? As in like Laodicea, you guys are right next to each other actually, right? But here it says, behold, I stand at the door. So he's telling the Laodicea, behold, I stand at the door and knock. As if Laodicea is right next to the Lord, has to go through the sword, but they're right next to the Lord. I believe it's the first church from the three to the east, and they are right next to him, that they can, the door is right next to them. The door is right next to them that they can knock, right? And they have to knock. They have to knock because the door is closed, right? The door that has been open this whole time, you guys, for the Church of Philadelphia, those who love Jesus, those who have a relationship with God, they love the Lord more than they love this earth. Their door is open for them. And those who love the world more, those that are the 5 unwise virgins, had to go back to get their lamp, and when they came back, the door was closed, right? Because they just weren't prepared, and now the door's closed, and they're right next to the Lord, but now they have to knock, right? They're knocking. And he says, so behold, I stand at the door and knock, and if any man hear my voice, and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. So it actually says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. So the Lord's knocking. Sorry, I read that wrong. So, but the Lord is knocking, and you guys are right next to it, right? And I believe with all my heart, because also the dream that I had with this one person that was, when the snow was happening outside, if you guys can remember, he was frantically knocking at the door. He was frantically knocking at the door, and that is why, even though it wasn't my decision to make, but I know it was the Lord's, that's why he all of a sudden showed up, and that man was allowed to come into the house, and they had a one-on-one talk, as if I was never there. So, but he came from that snowstorm and that hail that was outside. So the door, for you guys, it's right next to you guys, yeah? And whoever listens to the Lord, right, you will still be able to go through the door. But you're going to have to die now for him, right? Because this is now for the lukewarm that is going to be left behind. But I really had to... This was about, I believe it's the first church from the east, because the door is literally right next to them. And it's the Lord's knocking, and he's trying. And when we look at the 5 unwise virgins who weren't prepared, and their door were closed at this point, right? It was as if the 5 wise, the Philadelphia church, their doors open, they're gone, and those that weren't prepared, they're left behind, and the door's closed, and now the Lord is still knocking though, and you guys are going to have to die now, right? Like, for his name's sake, you guys are going to have to go through that. And the Lord is trying to tell you, no, you don't have to go through that. I have a different plan for you. And that plan, and there is a rapture, and it will happen. There will be time for tribulation, saints, and that will also happen. But you guys, he has a plan. He has a plan, and it is the rapture, and it will happen, and you cannot change God's plan. It has been planned from the beginning of all times. And that this will happen, and it is an appointed time that will happen, and it shall come to pass. And I'm just letting you guys know. And now we're looking, before I end this video, because I told you guys the names of the archangels and what they have to do, and I believe the Uriel, Raphael, and Raquel will be for the churches for the south, because there are about overworld, Tartarus, like the abyss, Uriel. Raphael is the spirits of men, and Raquel takes vengeance on the world of luminaries, right? So I really believe that those angels are for the south, because that to me is more like that sounds pretty like for the harder times, like harsher times, as in like more of a wrath of God. We got an abyss going on. We have a vengeance going on, right? And what do the tribulation saints say in the fifth seal? Oh Lord, how much longer until you avenge those on the earth that dwell among the earth, because they have been killed, right? How long, oh Lord, right? So that to me tells me this vengeance is gonna come after the fifth seal, right? After the seals, when the trumpets of the angels are going to be sound, like those I believe are going to be for those churches to the south that are just harder to like get themselves to open up to God. And you have 3 churches to the east that I believe then the rest of the angels are going to be in part of, because they're going to go through the sword, but it's going to be for the first time round, and they will get it right away. They're going to get it right away, and they're going to come faster to the Lord than these last 3 churches that are going to the south. Because like I said, it's like a feet of brass, and you have 3 churches going to the south. So, like I said, I'm going to try to explain this much better. I'm going to try to explain this much better in a PowerPoint with pictures and stuff, because I believe it's probably easier to understand when we're seeing pictures and I can point out to what I'm trying to explain to you guys. But like I said, I truly believe with all my heart that Michael is for the angel of the Philadelphia church. I just think the Lord is just really confirming me here that it is so. And like I said, he's the 4th angel being mentioned, and 4 meaning doorway, and the 4th, like the midst of the candlestick, is God. It is the Lord. And the Philadelphia church, you guys, these things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth, and no man shutteth, and shutteth, and no man openeth. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. So, this church that's in the midst is the Philadelphia church, the one that has an open door straight to the throne of God. And what is going to be the first thing that we see when the Lord says, come up hither, and I'll show you what must happen hereafter? What's the first thing we're going to see, you guys? The throne of God, and the one sitting on it, God. We're going to see Jesus. I just like, wow. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try to make like a PowerPoint on this so that we can look at it better. And there's probably going to be, maybe there's going to be more revealed to me at that point, or maybe I'm going to see things a little differently, or maybe find out more things how I'm looking at it. But I think it's a great start to look into that. I think it's a great start into looking at that because they're confirming one another. And I only got to that point because of what the Lord showed me. So you guys, be prepared for our flight. Be prepared for our flight. And I love all my brothers and sisters in Christ. And that is just what I really wanted to share with you guys. That is the dream that I had this morning. And like I said, I'm making that PowerPoint with the Stellarian that we can look through the visions and the dreams that I had with Man-Child Ministries video as well, because he did an amazing job. And you can definitely see God's doing in all of this. And it's definitely pointing the times that we're in right now. And like I said, I will do that. And I love all my brothers and sisters and guys. Alrighty, bye. Till next time.